Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well with your Olympic Year Life Marathon Challenge. We're here for episode 2. The title of this episode is Believing Through Bearing, which means you have to continue to thrive and believe that you can reach your goal, even though there will be things that you have to carry. That's the bearing, the bearing part, holding on. But a bearing in the long run is not just something that gets heavier and heavier. No, bearing means that something is going to, at the end, not just be a burden, but is going to give birth to something special. So that's what we're going to talk about in this particular episode. How do you continue to believe through the bearing? In the book itself, I begin the chapter with something I'd like to emphasize when it comes to believing. Because I talk about, yes, of course, you need to believe in yourself first. But what I've discovered is that an equally motivating factor can be a person who believes in you and your potential. When someone really cares about your future, that person offers an energy that enables you to discover a talent that you may not have been confident in. For me, this person or this pace setter on your own life marathon is someone who can point out the potential of you, of each participant, guide you and others to underrated wonders of the everyday, and encourage all participants to reach whatever dream awaits you at the end. I do believe that dreams always come true. Robert Mueller, a former United Nations Secretary General, came to my city and emphasized that. And since the day he mentioned that, I believe that. Dreams always come true. So don't lose sight of your dream, because you really need that to pursue the kind of happiness we're talking about. And even though a marathon dream takes a long time to get to, it's well worth it in the end. Picture of someone who is an encourager for me in my own marathon journey, my own dream. I had a dream of qualifying for Olympic trials, as I mentioned before. This is a part of the journey along the way. You see, there I am running, but over to this side, you see a young man. It happens to be my brother Tom. Well, even though he didn't finish the race itself, he believed in me. And you can see by the applaud and the look that he was someone who really helped me reach the finish line. Without that kind of belief, and really without the belief of your support group behind you, we're not going to make the goal, or at least we're not going to have the excitement of reaching the goal that we thought we could, or the success we thought we could. In the chapter, I also mentioned the words of a very famous coach, because this person who encourages you along the way is a little bit like a coach for you. Now, Coach John Wooden of University of California at Los Angeles basketball, they won, I believe it was like 10 national championships, many national championships. But he was known for his definition of success. Success, he said, is a peace of mind that is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. How do you become the best at what you're capable of becoming? Well, the word and the skill we're going to talk about today is a word given to me from a quote I read concerning one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Michael Jordan. And he was asked one time what skill was very important for him to develop the talents to the level he did. You know what he said? He said, the best skill I had is that I was coachable. I was a sponge and aggressive for learning. It's so well said that we all need coaches to challenge us to reach our goals. And some people stop their goals because maybe a coach says something that you feel that criticized you and made you give up. Or perhaps you you were not able to take the kind of observation of people watching you, and you got a little bit nervous along the way. You say, I don't want to do that. I want to put myself out that much. So it's not easy to be coachable, but that's the skill I'm trying to talk about today. Because if we're not coachable, if we're not able to receive any kind of criticism, we're going to reach a plateau in our goal. And we really don't want to stay at the plateau level the whole time. We want to reach out, reach a deeper level of understanding. And the person for me who represents the challenge of reaching out beyond your comfort zone is a woman by the name of Stevie Regis. She was known as the Rabbi of Edgewood because she reached out to all kinds of faiths, all kinds of students on the campus, was always able to lend a hand and find people reach their dreams. I call her a dream midwife in the book. That's really what she was for people. But for today's, we're going to call her a coach because she embodied the aspects of a coach that I think are important. Now let's talk a little bit about what a coach literally does. And I'm going to use a little bit of my own challenge as an athlete one time, or as one who wanted to reach a goal, because one time some words stopped me from reaching a goal I wanted to reach. This was the goal of integrating the arts with spirituality, and I had this dream of the Olympic celebration of the arts. And I presented my dream to an athlete I knew who actually had run in the Olympics. Thought, oh, this person's going to like this idea of mine of taking an Olympic story and having music and food and celebrating everything. You know what she said? What this person said to me? She said, everybody wants to jump on the Olympic bandwagon, which sometimes can happen with somebody who's like an elite athlete or an elite person, seeing you trudge along at a low level. It wasn't her intention to disappoint me, and I didn't let that stop me. But for today's talk, I want to talk about the Olympic coach. So first of all, a coach in the beginning of the word coach was used to describe something that carried you, transported you to a very important place, like a motor coach, a stage coach. That was the first use of the word coach. Over time, however, it developed into a person who takes you, transports you to a very important place. Now, I'm really hoping that you have someone and you're able to be coachable to get on this Olympic year life marathon coach to get you to your destination. So as we talk about the qualities of a coachable person, I want you to think again about what is your Olympic year life marathon goal. Picture it. Think about it. I believe you're going to make it because I know the dreams always come true. Don't give up on it. Believing through the bearing. Reach out in your own imagination to reach to the higher level. Extend yourself in your own imagination. Okay? Are you ready? So here are the qualities that I think a coachable person needs to develop. And number one, are you capable? Capable, it doesn't mean just to have the talent to do something. Capable means that you're able to seize the moment, to kaptare, that's what capable. Capable of the moment, seize the moment. And a coach is the one who tells you that you're capable of reaching the goal. Points out that potential within you. That's very, very important. Also, the O of a coachable person is observable. To be, are you able to have someone observe what you're doing, to watch you as you go? Another way of looking at it is, as you reach your goal, are you observant? Are you really doing something on a regular basis, a ritual of importance, to reach that goal? Are you doing something today, this week? I hope so. The A is very important quality of a coachable person is to be approachable. So don't be afraid of someone coming to you and saying that maybe this approach might work for you. Try it this way. Look at it this way. Something new. Be approachable. The C of the COACH, the next thing, and this is probably the most important thing, and I'll tell you in a second why, is companionable. Companionable means, are you able to break bread with somebody as you're going on the road together with them? Are you having fun? Are you forming friendships on this road? Try to do that. Be companionable. And finally, the H stands for honorable. An athlete who's coachable is honorable in the sense you do things with honor, but also like in honors college, you reach a higher level of yourself. And the other point about being honor is that you be honest with yourself. Because there's a lot of people out there who are giving you promises of reaching these high goals and hyping you up. No, don't let people hype you up. Be honest with yourself and honorable. And you will, I promise you, reach that dream. So the simple story I want to tell is with Sister Stevie, the last time that I saw her, that to me illustrates illustrates the activity of a coachable person. And I happen to be the one that she was coaching. I happen to be the one who was able to see the skills in her and to move forward to a goal. So I always was afraid of someone, especially like Stevie, who had so much enthusiasm in one context. Could they, when they have to move on to something else that they were successful with into a new venture, will they make it? It's one of the fears I have as an athlete, as a person, my background. And I believe that these coachable qualities help lead you to when you get new ventures, to make it in a new place. So anyway, this story takes place. I call it Believing Hands Reach Out. Stevie was now not at the Edgewood College, where she was a legend, but she was in the Villa, a place called the Villa, kind of a nursing home, the final resting home of many of the religious women in her community. But when I first got to the nursing home, someone said, "Stevie's in the sunroom." So I walked up to this place and saw Stevie in the sunroom. There was a Bible in front of her. She's a Bible teacher. And another woman in front of her, Sister Noon, 100 years old. Stevie was 80 years old at the time. I was 40 years old at the time. And Stevie was pointing out to Sister Noon all the beautiful things in the reading that she could be a part of. And she was trying to make this Sister Noon a student. She was pointing out the potential. You can learn that. You can study that. That's great. So we were going to go to lunch that day, but before we went to lunch, Stevie had to stop at her room to pick up something. And as she pointed out to me, there was a stack of about this high of letters that people had sent her. She picked up one and she said, "This is from a former student of mine, and was just thanking me for what I gave that person." And she was put it down. But that's the point of someone who really is able to continue to be companionable, continue to be a friend of so many other people. So he went down to the cafeteria, and Stevie, again, I'm talking about someone who has the reach out capabilities, really companionable. She picked up a tray, gave it to me, picked up a plate and a cup, and I put the cup in one of those fountains at a cafeteria where the water filled it, and we had the most wonderful conversation with someone who really had been a coach to me in so many ways. And she continued, as we walked along the grunt after the lunch, she continued to be that role of teaching, using her hand as we walked around the villa. She would point out things like, there's crocuses growing up, point out trees and things like that. Always teaching, always wanting me to learn and wanting me to grow in life, in the love of life. The final scene that day from my wonderful coach and midwife I saw her looking out at the front door of the villa, looking to the east, almost like looking back to her past. She had taught at Edgewood College. That was way in the east, and even she loved Jerusalem so much. So I'm picturing that. But this day, the trees were empty, and it was spring. Couldn't see anything on the trees, but we had also she had taught me about the fact that trees that are empty are not fully empty. You can see their personality. Taught me something about that, something in the emptiness. You can keep reaching and finding something. So I went to my car, a little bit sad because it might be the last time I was going to see her. Suddenly I heard her call my name, Bill, Bill, and she was pointing to the tree, and she had just seen a cardinal. She said, "I saw the cardinal." She had just seen a bird perching on the tree. The ability of someone to continue to see a sign of hope, and even at that moment of her life that she was weak and struggling, she continued to believe through the bearing and held herself with such honor and such dignity. I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget her, and I hope you have someone, maybe not a Stevie, someone like that to reach for you this week. And I want to challenge you again to be coachable. And so, again, here's to your dreams. And I pray that you're coachable, open to whatever kind of challenge you get this week in believing through the bearing. To salud, to health, l'chaim, to life, and cheers to you and the best of the thriving you.